Some movies make you question the world, and some make you question yourself. Gone Baby Gone did both. Released in 2007, it was gritty, haunting, and unforgettable. A crime drama that dove deep into Boston's underbelly and exposed the blurred lines between right and wrong. Directed by a then first-time filmmaker named Ben Affleck, the movie followed two private investigators searching for a missing girl. And it left audiences with one of the most divisive endings in modern cinema. It was raw, it was real, and it launched careers while transforming others. But what happened after the credits rolled? From Hollywood breakouts to personal battles, career reinventions to shocking scandals, the cast of Gone Baby Gone has lived through twists as wild as the film itself. Let's dive into their stories, then versus now, 2025. Let's start with the film's conflicted hero, Casey Affleck, who played Patrick Kenzie, the private investigator forced to make an impossible choice. In 2007, Casey Affleck was best known as Ben Affleck's little brother, but Gone Baby Gone changed that overnight. His performance, intense, vulnerable, and morally complex, turned critics into believers. Suddenly, Casey was no longer in anyone's shadow. Just months later, he'd star in The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, a role that earned him his first Oscar nomination. But fame came with shadows. In 2010, while promoting his mockumentary, I'm Still Here, two women sued him for sexual harassment. The lawsuits were settled out of court, but the backlash lingered. For years, Casey kept a low profile. Then, in 2016, he returned with Manchester by the Sea, a career-defining performance that won him the Academy Award for Best Actor. Yet even his Oscar win reignited the controversy. Many questioned whether Hollywood should celebrate him. Fast forward to 2025, and Casey's story has evolved again. He's taken on more independent, introspective roles and stepped into producing, keeping his circle small and his presence quiet. His career is proof of Hollywood's duality, brilliance and baggage, talent and turbulence, all tangled together. Now, let's turn to the film's emotional anchor, Michelle Monaghan, who played Angie Gennaro, Patrick's partner and moral conscience. In 2007, Michelle was one of Hollywood's rising stars, that perfect blend of warmth, strength, and depth. She'd already charmed audiences in Mission Impossible 3 and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but Gone Baby Gone gave her something different, a role that showcased her raw vulnerability and intelligence. After the film, her career soared. She reprised her role in Mission Impossible opposite Tom Cruise, starred in Source Code, Trucker, and HBO's True Detective, where she held her own against Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. Off-screen, Michelle kept things refreshingly drama-free. Married to graphic artist Peter White since 2005, she's balanced Hollywood life with motherhood and advocacy for women's rights in film. By 2025, Michelle remains a beloved figure, respected for her talent, adored for her authenticity, and proof that steady success doesn't need chaos to shine. Now, let's talk about the woman at the center of the story, Amy Ryan, who played Helene McCready, the neglectful mother whose missing daughter drives the film's moral dilemma. Amy's performance was electric, messy, emotional, and terrifyingly real. It earned her an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress, and suddenly, this longtime stage actress became one of Hollywood's most in-demand character performers. After Gone Baby Gone, she kept the momentum going with The Office, Birdman, Only Murders in the Building, and Beau is Afraid. She's the kind of actress who disappears into her roles, never chasing fame, always chasing truth. Off-screen, Amy's life has remained remarkably grounded. No scandals, no ego, just a passion for the craft. In 2025, she's still working steadily, a living reminder that great acting doesn't always need a headline to be unforgettable. Now, let's shift to Morgan Freeman, who played Captain Jack Doyle, the weary detective hiding his own secret. By 2007, Morgan Freeman was already a legend. With an Oscar under his belt, countless blockbusters, and that unmistakable voice, he was Hollywood royalty. Gone Baby Gone reminded audiences why. His performance as the morally conflicted police captain added emotional depth to the story's impossible question: what's the right thing to do? But Freeman's off-screen life has been a mix of triumph and turbulence. In 2018, he faced allegations of inappropriate behavior, which he denied. Though it briefly clouded his public image, Freeman continued to work, focusing on projects with social impact. By 2025, he remains a revered icon. His production company supports young filmmakers, and his voice, both literally and metaphorically, continues to shape the industry. Fans still say, if Morgan Freeman narrates it, we'll listen. Next, we have Ed Harris, who played Detective Remy Bressant, a man whose loyalty and guilt collide in one unforgettable performance. By 2007, Ed Harris was one of Hollywood's most respected actors, known for Apollo 13, The Truman Show, and Pollock. In Gone Baby Gone, he brought quiet rage and moral chaos to the screen, making audiences question everything they thought they knew about right and wrong. But Harris's off-screen life has been a mix of triumph and turbulence. In 2018, he faced allegations of inappropriate behavior, which he denied. Though it briefly clouded his public image, Freeman continued to work, focusing on projects with social impact. By 2025, he remains a revered icon. His production company supports young filmmakers, and his voice, both literally and metaphorically, continues to shape the industry. Fans still say, if Morgan Freeman narrates it, we'll listen. Next, we have Amy Madigan herself, who appeared briefly in Gone Baby Gone as Beatrice McCready, the child aunt, a small role with massive emotional impact. By then, Amy was already a powerhouse, with Oscar and Emmy nominations under her belt. In real life, her partnership with Ed Harris has become one of Hollywood's longest and most respected marriages, a quiet, consistent love story in an industry full of chaos. In 2025, the two are still acting, occasionally appearing together on stage and screen, reminding everyone that longevity in career and love is still possible in Hollywood. And of course, the man behind it all, Ben Affleck, the director who took a massive gamble. By 2007, Ben's career was at a crossroads. Once the golden boy of Good Will Hunting, his public image had crumbled under box office flops, failed relationships, and the relentless tabloid circus. Many wrote him off. Then came Gone Baby Gone. Critics were stunned. The same actor they mocked for Jiggly had just directed one of the most morally complex films of the decade. It was the beginning of Ben Affleck's redemption arc. From there, he directed The Town, Argo, which won Best Picture, and rebuilt his reputation as one of Hollywood's smartest storytellers. But of course, his real-life story kept the tabloids busy. The highs and lows of his relationships, from Jennifer Garner to his rekindled romance and marriage to Jennifer Lopez, made him one of the most watched figures in pop culture. By 2025, Ben Affleck has balanced artistry with humanity. Still acting, still directing, still occasionally making headlines, but this time for the right reasons. His name, once a punchline, is now synonymous with resilience. 2 decades later, Gone Baby Gone still hits hard, a film that forces audiences to confront uncomfortable truths and moral ambiguity. But what makes it even more fascinating is how its cast mirrored those same struggles: redemption, resilience, and reinvention. Casey Affleck, the talented enigma who found artistry in imperfection; Michelle Monaghan, the grounded star who conquered Hollywood with grace; Amy Ryan, the quiet powerhouse who turned chaos into craft; and Ben Affleck, the director who rebuilt his name one masterpiece at a time. They all proved that no matter how dark the story gets, there's always a way back into the light. So what do you think? Whose transformation caught you off guard? Was it Casey's complicated rise from scandal to stardom, Ben's incredible comeback from the ashes, or Michelle's quiet but unstoppable climb to the top? Share your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell for more Hollywood Then and Now stories. Because in this town, every downfall sets the stage for a comeback, and the spotlight never truly fades.